And I said yes, because she obviously subscribes to the same theory I do. I'm sure she's a pioneer in your country. Yes, yes, of course she is. But she subscribes to the same thought that says it's okay to be the first woman. It's not okay to be the only. Not anymore. So, yes, please. And I said yes right away, and I thought I'm going to come and share my story because I'm a woman of valor, you know. Yeah. I did not expect to receive. I came here to give my story, to share my experiences. I did not expect to receive. So I want to start with a little bit of gratitude. I'd like to start my day that way. So I'm grateful to have come here to Ghana for the first time. I know I've only seen Accra. And I'm grateful for the love I have received. You know, we sit in a studio in Johannesburg and we're doing our thing in the World Cup and you're talking, and sometimes you're talking rubbish, but whatever. I'm sure many of you have said that on Twitter. You have no idea that you're going to land in a city you've never been before. And this great woman in our own rights has put you on billboards. And people know your name. They love your work. They show you love. You go to the toilet. This is a true story from this morning. You go to the toilet and people want to take photos with you. No, not in the toilet. But I was in the washroom area, general area. So I want to say thank you for what you have given me. Because since we're going to be disclosing things, I was having a little bit of trouble before I landed here. Something happened at work. And work is I've dedicated my entire life to work. So when something happens at work, it's like the world is ending. And I came here and I got some fantastic perspective. Amazing perspective. You are a light to so many people. And you don't get perspective on that often. We don't live in the moment. We don't acknowledge. We don't take time to celebrate ourselves. So that's my little bit of gratitude. And I want to say thank you so much to Nana Abba for including me in this. What a huge honor. What a huge honor. And I know this event was oversubscribed because I've been around Accra the last few days, and everywhere we go, people stop her and they say, can we come? Can we be there? Is it full? Can you make space for just us? We went to have our nails done yesterday. There's a lady sitting at this table here in green, and she was saying, oh, I'm going to that. You know, I found that amazing. And so there are many people watching online, including my parents in Cape Town, who have sent me a message saying, the sound, we can't hear anything, it's fixed now. So yeah, I wanted to start with a little bit of gratitude. And let me get my phone up because my notes are here. And I also want to check the time before you start. Okay, so my story is like a lot of stories from here. I grew up on the Cape Flats. My parents split. Raised day to day by a single mom. Dad, don't take offense. It just is what it is. I saw her strength, but we grew up. I lived with my granny in my granny's house. We didn't have hot water to put a pot on the stove if you wanted to have a bath. It looks like many places out here. Also, where we went yesterday, Nana Ama showed me where I can buy hibiscus tea, and the streets reminded me of home. And I was doing a chat to youth in South Africa a little while ago, and someone said to me, you know, when you come from the Kasi, from the townships, when you come from poor backgrounds, it's difficult, how do you, and I remember saying, if you want an excuse, you'll find one. And many people who have gotten into places where you look at them and say, I want that life. Soft life. You don't know what they've been through to get there. But we always tell the stories of what it took to get there. I'm going to tell you 5 things I wish I knew. Told me. When you get there, when you achieve even a little bit of success. These are 5 lessons I've learned. So my story, where I grew up on the Cape Flats, there was no one who looked like me. On TV, when I started out in TV, I'm walking this side because I want to give this side of the room some love as well. No one looked like me when I started out in TV, and I thought, I want to be there. Never really thought it would happen. So I went and I studied. I was a journalist. for many years, then sports editor, then read news on TV, then Supersports. So basically, that's me in a nutshell. Now I'm going to tell you those 5 lessons and how it all started. This woman of valor thing that we're talking about today. My bravery. My friend said to me the other day, you don't get a day off from being a woman in a man's world. You never do. You always have to show, you have to prove. But I'll get to that. That's like point 3 only, something like that. Okay, so the first point is, this system that I'm working in, this structure, this thing of being a sports presenter, a sports expert, that system wasn't built for me. I don't belong there. And every day they remind me. And it's in little things. The stadium I'm going to doesn't have a woman's toilet. They didn't buy me a makeup kit. I'm doing makeup in the car. You know, looks pretty, but it shouldn't be like that. The system wasn't designed for me. I don't belong there. And I will be reminded almost every day, every time I go to work. We don't have mic packs for females because, you know, why don't you wear a jacket? Sometimes I wear a dress to work. I'm not a man. People know, they can see. Yeah. So, one example of the system not being designed for someone like me is, we used to call them iPad girls. iPad girls. When I started out doing a program called Monday Night Football, it's my very first year at Supersports. And Monday Night Football was a Premier League show, and it had all the guys sitting on the panel. And then there was me, by the big screen, the iPad girl. John Smith says he's a big Liverpool fan, and he's very, I'm sorry, no, he's a big Liverpool fan, and he's very excited about the victory today. Back to you guys on the panel. It was cute, people saw me. Then I thought, is that really all I'm going to do? Is that really all I'm going to do? So I start doing things like, Peter Adams says that he is a big Chelsea fan and he's really happy that the team won this week. On the panel, let me ask you guys a question. What was the difference in the playing style this week? Or something, just to give you an example. So I started to make it my own. And that show that you just mentioned, Sarah, the Extra Time Reloaded, was a show about tactics. Who thought that a girl who was reading tweets, and that's on me, by the way, that's on me, like knocking down doors. My bosses certainly didn't foresee, let's put a girl there and talk about football tactics. No, that's on me, like knocking down doors, but just showing you that it obviously doesn't happen overnight. There's no instant gratification, but it starts with baby steps, taking initiative, and taking control of what you want to be in that space. So the space wasn't created for me. Okay, cool, how do you navigate? This is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. You know what I find so remarkable? That all of the ladies who were speaking before, Na, Obobia, Charlotte, Shika, I'm devastated to find out I'm not a quintessential lady. I'm heartbroken. All of the ladies who spoke before, I've never met them. I don't live in the same country as them. I don't speak all the languages they speak and vice versa. And yet, the topics and the issues and the problems are the same. Go to any country and discuss the issues or the feelings and you'll find it is the same. The world is run by men. No offense to the men here, it just is what it is, you know that. It's a patriarchal society, and unfortunately, that means we think there's room for only one successful woman. That is why what's happening today, and what will continue to happen, because I'm sure this is just the first of many, that is why it's so important. You can never be one of the boys. You can't be in the boys' club, you don't go to the boys' boarding school. I'm going to play golf. I mean, you can, but, you know, we don't. When they go to the strip clubs, I'm not saying who, When they go to the strip, maybe you don't go with, maybe you do, maybe you're uncomfortable. That's not the space. You can never be one of the boys. And your greatest power in the space that was not made for you is that you are different, is that you are you. So lean into that. All right, the second thing that I wish I knew, I wish someone told me before, is that you will be judged for being a woman. Like, we can see it, we know we're women, people know we're women. But the rules that are the same for us don't apply, the rules that apply to men are not the same for us. What do I mean? You've seen some of the people who, oh, there's no nice way to say this. You've seen some of the men who perhaps work with me or who work on TV, they're not trim. Sometimes, thank you, that is such a ladylike way to say it. Sometimes there's a pot belly. Sometimes it's scruff, sometimes the hair, the grey is acceptable. Let me do it. My Twitter will be blowing up. Have you put on weight? Why do you look like that? Why, you never get a day off from being a woman in a man's world. What I post, who I hang out with, who I date, who I don't date, what I've eaten, what I say, how I look. They really don't want you in this space. All of that I get judged on. And you have to be aware that if you choose to pursue anything that's in a male-dominated environment, which most environments are, the standards you are judged by are very different. And if you're going to be open about certain things or you want certain things out there, then own it. But understand that people are almost like looking for a reason to use that against you, and it will come up. I was, a couple of years, just before COVID actually, someone tweeted that I had slept my way to the top. What top? I don't even think I'm at the top, but anyway. And I just left it. None of my friends told me, by the way. It was some random stranger that sent me a DM and said, hey, have you seen this? So I left it because I thought, I'm not going to give it air. I won't let that affect me. Then I started going to stadiums and people were saying, hey, did you see that tweet? Oh, we saw, this, are you okay? Are you? People looking for gossip, just, right? Yeah. So I had to decide, because it hurt me. Late nights, early mornings, doing work, putting up with all this nonsense, and that's what you're going to say about me? Man, I sued that guy. I sued him. I got a good lawyer and I sued him. That was the decision I was going to make. I could have left it, but in that moment, I didn't want to be judged based on that. I knew I couldn't fight against all the things people say, all the things they're going to tweet about me or say behind my back. But in that moment, I wanted to do that for myself. For all the sacrifices I made, the people around me made, so I did what I thought was right. There'll be many occasions where you make decisions and you don't always make the wrong ones. But you either lose or you learn. And in that case, I did not lose. Yeah, the things that we get judged on, as I said, men never have to think about it. It's unbelievable. So, the third point that I wish I knew before, and Omotola said that she doesn't go through this. She was so surprised by it, and one of our speakers brought it up as well. Not everyone is your friend. Not everyone is your friend. What does that mean? That means that sometimes people are just around you because they want to get close to other people. They want to be associated with you because that means they're going to get seen, or stupid things like tickets to games or meeting footballers, or I don't know. I don't know why people do the things they do. But not everyone is your friend. And for someone like me, and anyone who's met me this week, you know I like to chat. I can talk, I can be friendly with everyone, I can tell all my business. But here's an instance that it didn't work for me. I had an idea to do something, and I was chatting about it with a colleague on a trip. And then it turned out someone else had pitched that same idea to the people I was going to pitch it to. A girl who was traveling with us.
Sellouts.
Wow. I thought we were friends. Nope. Not everyone is your friend. It's a very tough one to learn, but you can't tell people your business. Yeah. You have to move in silence. That's a saying, right? What? No, you can't bottle everything up. You'll explode. But you have to move in silence. And it's a lonely thing. This thing that we're doing of being successful, of being women of valor, and in keeping things to yourself, you also have to be courageous, because you have to have so much unwavering faith in yourself. It says, it's okay, I got me. On that point, not everyone is your friend, but, not every woman is a rival. Okay. Please understand. Thank you. The system that I talked about wants us to see each other as competition because there's only space for one successful woman. Yeah, rubbish. Let's move past that. Yeah? Yeah. Compliment each other, like we said earlier, but I would even go further. I would say because we have this jealousy of other women, that jealousy will stop you learning from people you should be learning from. So there's a woman who I work with, and you know, I could ask her anything about outfits or makeup or hair, but the second I sent a message about, hey, do you have any advice for me? I'm doing this match, or I'm doing this bulletin, or I'm doing this story, blue tick. To this day, actually. Blue tick. And it's because perhaps she had her own experiences. We all do. You can't be doing well and not have scars, not have issues, not have had experiences of people turning out to be opposite to what they said they were. But jealousy will have you hating on people you should be learning from. And it takes a strong woman, a woman of valor, to say, that woman is amazing, she's doing well, I would like to not always be like her, because again, I say your power is in yourself. But I would like to achieve some measure of success like she has done. What can I learn from her? Because human nature is not like that. So that's what I think is courageous to be like. How are we doing for time? Gonna knock it? No. Oh. Okay, I better get to point 4 then. People don't believe in themselves, so how can they believe in you? I stole that line from Burna Boy. You know, in the fairy tales, there's always a Prince Charming. Gotta be your own Prince Charming, honey. Sorry to break it to you today. Have to be your own Prince Charming. The only person who can have that unwavering faith in you is you. You said, oh, people want me to do well, don't they? No, they don't. We know the saying, people want you to do good, but never better than them. Yeah, so it's a tough lesson to learn, that you have to have your own back in moments where you don't get selected, in moments where you don't quite know how to approach things. You have to have your own back. Yeah, and the only one who's going to save you is you. And that also means that you have to cut out the noise, and you have to believe in yourself. No one's going to do this but you. It's a hard thing to do, because you want a helping hand, you want things given to you on a silver platter. Like we said, Gen Z, sorry to pick on you guys. But that's the nature. We want things to come easy to us, but they're not. And the work has to be done here. So the last point, the 5th thing I wish I knew about being successful. I even struggled to say that word about myself. But I've come to a different country and people have seen my work, and I'm accepting now that I'm successful. Thank you. The last thing I want to say about being a successful woman, and everything I've said here is not rocket science, but I've given you some examples of things in my own life that I've had to apply this to. So the final thing is you have to control what you can control. Charlotte said, I do what I can and I give it to God and I go to bed. Yo, me, all night. All night I'll be here. But you can't. I used to be so obsessive about my work. Because I have to give everything I have to. So I'm saying to you, yes, we multitask. Right? That's in our nature. But you have to control what you can control. And that includes your brand. That includes how you want to come across. I've said things about my makeup. I want this kind of hair. People call you the B word. They say horrible things about you. That's okay. You don't pay my bills. Control what you can control. So that means your reactions when people cut you off in traffic. Chica, to control that reaction. It's all you can do. How hard you work. My life motto, I'm not going to be the prettiest or the smartest or have the best body, but I'm always aiming to be the hardest worker in the room. You won't beat me on that. Well, thank you. And that's within my control. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say to you today. I know maybe you have some questions, but I think we're taking them afterwards? Okay. I just want to say, again, we live in a man's world, to end off. And it's tough, because we weren't taught how to be supportive. There's the boys' club. I don't know about a girls' club. If there is, I haven't been invited to one yet. This is it, maybe. This is it. This is the girls' club. Yeah. So reach out to the women who have already done it. Engage them. Support each other. And hold each other accountable. It's the only way we're going to keep breaking down those glass ceilings. Thank you, everybody.
Let's put our hands together for Julia.